Hello, and welcome to Saga Roll. I'm Toasty, one of our resident storytellers and occasional table gremlins. We are a group of friendly, like minded individuals which enjoy sharing our interests with you, our audience. Be advised, however, that our content can tend to cover mature situations, strong language, and possible distressing scenarios. With that in mind, welcome to our table. Hank chasing this mysterious individual who made some very poor life choices up to this point, which seems to be a running theme for our group, down towards the canal near the waterfront. Dr. Isaacs heading towards the university library to see if it was still open, having the most tame of the evening so far. Jules deciding to test the limits of her fresh marriage as well as the taste of her husband. Not quite what it sounds like. Pieetrr staking out his old informant's location and noticing that there is a severe lack of a familiar face, though he did find a few other potential replacements if things seem to pan out that way. And we will jump back in with Jules and poor Romero.
Um. Uh.
You do taste on Romero's blood that he has had a bit of your favorite. So he's had some weed recently,
Oh,
and
okay.
there's something else mingled in there that you can't quite place your finger on. It's very faint, it's lingering in his system. He probably hasn't had it in a day or two. Seems to be clearing out,
Mm-hmm.
and it gives you a sharp, not exactly sweet, almost spicy end note as
Oh.
you take your point from him.
Um. Can I make a roll to see if I can try to figure out what this little spicy thing is?
Yes, certainly.
Okay.
While your usual flavor may be more mellow and a little earthy, mixing with the taste of iron, this is definitely an additional seasoning on top of that.
Okay.
If we had to describe how the flavor of blood would work for you, I would say intelligence investigation out of 3.
Okay.
You don't really garner any effects from it. You can tell that the weed has mellowed him somewhat. He's been a bundle of nerves since you left, so it makes sense that he would try to calm down.
Makes
Uh,
sense.
two
Two of
of
three.
2 of 3 is not bad. Would you like to? You just fed. Do you want to chance it and try to rouse and add a dice?
Nah. It's fine. It's if it's like on the tip of her tongue of what it is, then it's you won't think too far into it.
You can definitely tell that it's likely a substance, either one that the family peddles or deals with. It's very clear. It's not a muddled taste. Like the weed isn't a muddled taste. This is it almost feels like a little bit of a caffeinated effect. Like if you had just had coffee. But it's very, very faint.
Hmm. She'll kind of smell because of the taste because like it's blood. It's definitely not the gardener's garden or anything like that. Uh,
Unfortunately, it's not your perfect taste from the flower, but
right.
it
But
it definitely has elements.
right, it'll do. It's really good. But at least it's also familiar, so she knows that she can control the situation. Then she'll
Mhm.
lick the wound and you know kind of. Is he still conscious, or is he how is he
He's
groggy,
he's
or
still conscious. He's not quite. groggy just yet. You can tell he's a little lightheaded just from the sudden rush of everything. And he's leaning back on the sofa, making eye contact with Jules. And there's, I hate to phrase it this way, but it, hearing it, you know exactly what it looks like. There's a stupid little grin, like almost a smile on his face. And he reaches out and brushes your hair behind your ear gently. Just goes, "Did you pick that up on your trip?"
Yeah, that's just something new. Do you like?
I felt nice, but try anything for you once.
Well,
Definitely felt nice.
nice.
Mm,
Well,
A little
definitely
bit of
one more time, my love.
a little bit of a surprise.
Well, what can I say? I feel adventuresome, and also we'll do it again, but later. Is there like
Oh,
any fruit like by them or anything like that?
yeah, there's a coffee table with it's a little bit cliche, but the house is set up to be very hostable if somebody suddenly stopped in or if you needed to use it. So in the center of the coffee table, there's definitely a basket with a number of fresh fruits inside. So apples, oranges, bananas, probably a sprig of grapes.
She'll definitely pick up an orange and then like start peeling it. So yeah, we'll need to make sure that you're having your food and oranges and stuff for it.
Oh, uh, I won't say no to you feeding me.
And she'll
The smile is still plastered on his face.
It's that shit-eating grin of like, haha, I just got lucky.
A little bit.
Yeah, she'll get the piece of like orange and then give it to him. To, she's basically farming him, making sure that like he's happy, especially like basically now he's her blood bag basically.
Poor man. Head over heels for you from the beginning.
Yep. Now it's like,
Uh,
well,
yeah. I mean, he's definitely a little bit surprised, but he's more happy and dizzy
mhm,
than interested in asking questions. He enjoyed it.
I
That's all
gotcha.
he needed to know. He's still alive. You seem happy. It's a win-win right now for
Yeah,
him.
yeah. Also, it gets a chance to like, you know, avoid the conversation and just like, easily to control the thing of like, those basic questions is like here, kiss, and then distract.
Mhm.
What time is it getting to be for Jules and Romero?
For Jules and Romero, it's close to midnight. The night is about halfway over for you. The time of year that it is, you probably have another 4 hours before you really have to rush to find somewhere that you would
Okay,
wanna be safe for your sleep. And
okay,
then at that point, you would have about 30 minutes.
okay. She'll make some small talk with him, talk about California,
Mhm.
make him shut up probably about it. And then mention about the doctor and then also the police officer, Pieetrr. So,
I do remember you were very specific in what you mentioned prior about making things up about California. It was less about specifics of the trip and keeping a hint of the truth. Like you said, you bumped into a few people. You
mhm,
mentioned the doctor, you mentioned the officer, and then you mentioned a couple of others. I imagine it's along the same line, so it's easy to repeat later if you needed to.
right. That way, she's not caught in a lie.
Mhm. Um, I will say if you go into particular specifics, it may come up later.
Okay. She won't
But
get,
for now,
yeah,
yeah.
she's not getting too particular about it. She's just saying, oh, It truly is like, in the picture shows and everything. Just like, type of thing. That type of thing.
Right. It's just we saw the big Hollywood sign. It was
It's really neat.
yeah. Should have seen the burger joints and all this other stuff and how everybody seems to style themselves out that way.
And there's this new fast food place called McDonald's. So, I don't know if that's out yet. I'm not sure.
For us, it can be.
I gotcha. I think I'm early, but whatever.
No, no, there were McDonald's at that point.
Okay.
McDonald's opened in 53, and
Oh,
it's
okay,
currently
okay.
64.
Oh, that's right, right, that's right. So Croc is starting his expansion and everything.
Hmm. Um, he doesn't really question anything. He's more happy to listen at this point, especially since you're still feeding him orange slices. Uh, at the end, he kind of reaches out to put his hand on your cheek and rub his thumb across where your cheekbone would be, just very gently. And there's an affectionate gaze that he holds with you before starting to talk about work. And it's more him informing you of your family's moved in a little bit. They haven't really set up any business in town. It's still you and him, and they're not encroaching on anybody, but they've got a building here in case anything happens type of situation. And that he's been keeping an eye on the stuff, and he took care of what you normally would take care of while you were out. And he made sure and double checked that everything was up to standard. It matched all your previous work.
What can you tell me, darling, of a character? Is her name Josephine? Jolene?
Yes.
Joseph.
Josephine? Yes.
What
At
can
the 500 Club.
what can you tell me about the five? She won't mention her name. She'll just mention the 500 Club.
He stops and thinks about it. Is that a dancing club? Not like actual dancing, but like women scantily clad.
I
How?
believe so. The Dirty Legged Women Club.
The strippers, huh?
Oh, that's
Yeah,
what they call them.
you can call it the Dirty Legged Women Club. That's I wouldn't know how clean their legs are. I don't intend to.
I suspect it's pretty clean because hairy legs is just not in style really anymore. I don't believe
I think I heard of a place called that before.
hairy legs.
Yeah, I think it's out across Pontchartrain.
Do you prefer hairy legs or smooth legs, darling?
I prefer your legs.
Oh, that's nice. Would you prefer them hairy or bare?
He stops. He looks like a deer caught in headlights while he's thinking about it. You can tell he had an answer very quick, and he's not sure
Uh,
how to say it. And he just looks at you and smiles
is that
awkwardly.
moment? Yeah, it's that moment of like you think like this dress doesn't fit. Well, it's a little too small for you, so you think I'm fat.
No, I'm just saying it doesn't show you off the best.
Right.
He just smiles and says, "Well, I'm partial to how you keep them."
She'll nod.
Out of character, I imagine clean.
I imagine they're clean. Yeah,
Yeah.
shaven.
And you can tell that while he has gathered himself to answer, hopefully in a positive way that won't get him in trouble, that is his genuine answer.
Okay.
He does prefer shaven legs.
Nice. Okay. Um. It might be interesting to like get to know the owner of that club, maybe.
Okay. You want me to see if I can set something up?
Sure, but don't get too evasive with it. Just well, not too aggressive with it. Like just be polite.
Okay. I'll look and see if there's maybe some mutual business we could benefit from, or maybe somewhere they might visit and we could bump into them.
Very true. She's also not letting him know that she has already met her either.
Mm.
So
No, he, as best as he can right now, post euphoria and blood loss, is trying to give a tangible answer that he understands it's a don't make it too obvious type of situation,
right,
and he's not really reading into it more than Jules wants this. Okay, we'll make it happen.
excellent. So just bite him and then just make suggestions and not get a lot of
It's
questions.
like when you wake up the parent because you know they'll always say yes after they immediately woke up before they actually finish waking up type of situation. Yes.
Right.
Yes. Mom said no. What about you, Dad?
Uh, great. I'm taking the car.
She say you're taking oh Lord. And that is the evening for the two of you, unless you would like to try and strike back out.
Since it's like 4 hours to go, she's not wanting to push her luck, especially since she was told about the that she needs to be introduced, and she knows that the mission is really important, so she doesn't want to get carried away and then jeopardize that,
Mhm.
and then have to kill people. Well, she doesn't mind that, but she's being cautious.
Okay. He will not say no to a cozy night in with his wife.
Out of curiosity, uh, if they have enough aluminum foil in the house, she would also like to have those windows taped up and everything.
There is unlikely to be enough in the house, but it could potentially be purchased.
Okay.
Let me double check. I don't think there is a place open this late that you can actually purchase it this evening.
That's fine.
But you have seen those curtains in use before, and you know while there is some ambient light, there is no direct light through them. Like it
Okay.
might come through on the sides, but with how you arrange the room, it should not be a threat. As long as no one opens them during the day, you should be able to make it through until you can better proof it.
Is there a adjoining like bathroom to
Yes,
that bedroom with no
yes.
windows or windows?
It would be a very small, rectangular window at the top that would flip open to release maybe steam.
Okay, okay. Mm. I'm thinking that she'll make sure now. Remember, we gotta sleep all day, okay?
Oh yeah. Yeah, if I get up, I won't wake you. Keep it dark. I remember keep it dark.
Yeah, keep it very dark. Very, very dark. No sunlight in that room, okay?
You're all the sunshine I need.
Oh, that's nice, darling. And you're all the sunshine that I need, but yeah.
Two completely different reasons. Um, Romero has usually been affectionate towards you, and at this point, he has become overly affectionate for his usual towards Jules post bite.
Gotcha.
Potentially a side effect. Something to keep in mind for her.
Uh, uh, should I ghoul him? I don't know if Jules should ghoul him. She's not thinking about that right now. So yeah, so like, I'm okay with like drawing a little veil over this while she
Yeah.
definitely keeps him on a leash and and all.
You said a veil.
Yeah, I gotcha. Oh, and before the veil goes up, definitely talk to him about if he does get up, make sure that they get a lot of aluminum foil to put over the windows
Okay.
and then veil.
He looks very confused as the veil draws to a close on the scene. And we will move back towards Dr. Isaacs. Dr. Isaacs, you strike out from your apartment complex, having situated the building in case you need to use it, and you are heading towards the university.
Yeah, I'm gonna take the van.
Okay. That cuts down your travel time considerably. As you park, you notice that there are a few other vehicles still here. You recognize one or two belonging to professors that tend to stay late in the evening. Um, you do not see the librarian's vehicle, but you do see a light on in one of the windows.
I'll just try the door as normal.
You try the door from the outside, and it's open.
All right, cool.
I'm sorry, as opposed from an adjoining building. Entering, there is silence. You notice in the far back of the building that there is some ambient light from the one you saw in the window, but the rest of the building is relatively dark. Things have been powered down and turned off for the evening.
Okay. Um, sorry, checking one thing. I'm just gonna use Eyes of the Beast then, so I can see in the dark.
I will say that this building is has an excessive amount of windows on it.
So it's fairly lit up, but not light.
Yes. Yes. Exterior light filtering in predominantly.
Um, I'm going to look for a like Intro the Greek book.
Um, let's see. Do you have any specialty?
In what?
I'm just double checking your specialties really quick.
Anything, just like say metalwork.
Mm, I'd permit an intelligence investigation on this with a 2. You know the Dewey Decimal System.
No, I don't.
You don't. Okay. I won't give you this. Somebody has taken the book you were looking for. You're fairly certain you're in the right area. You have Greek and Roman here close together, and you're going through both, but a synopsis about dialect and translation as well as written format. It's not really readily available where it should be. Maybe it's in one of the library keeper's carts. Maybe it's still being checked in. Maybe it's been checked out. Maybe it's been lost. Maybe it's on a table somewhere in here.
In that case, I guess I'll just poke around. If I can't find it, then maybe a slightly advanced guide or older guide or any kind of translation aid.
All right. This one will be a little bit more difficult. Please give me an investigation intelligence of a DC 3. Don't forget you can rouse the blood.
Yeah, I'll rouse.
Okay. Slightly hungrier. All right, so that would give you 2 out of 3 is better. You don't find immediately what you're looking for, but you find a couple of books that you think, in conjunction with one another, may work. There are bits and pieces of the historic Greek language throughout these that are referenced independently, and it seems like these are a tier set together, like 1 through 3. It almost looks as though what you're looking for is a comprehensive, like you've been trying to find an all-in-one, but these together will eventually, with some more time and effort, get you to where you're trying to be.
All right. It's good enough for me.
Um, Standing up from this cart at one of the end of the aisles, only a few books remaining on it. You come almost face to face. They're about 3 to 4 feet away from you. You didn't hear them approaching. Well-dressed gentleman. His hair is pulled back, tight dreads, bound neatly, clean shaven, and you can tell that he is keeping a particularly keen eye on you as you are searching. And he looks like he is in a nice suit, but the jacket has been left somewhere. He's missing his jacket.
When I notice him, I'm going to cut the eyes.
He smirks in a very gotcha type of way and gives a low chuckle. And you can tell he's of African American descent. A broad smile just spans his face. You're a new face. I haven't seen you around here this time.
I've been around the campus quite a while.
Oh no, I mean with that condition.
What condition?
You're new to this. And his smile cuts instantly. Why are you here?
Some reading material.
For what?
Trying to expand my horizons. Learn a little bit more about the origins.
It's gonna take a step closer to you, closing space in a bit. I mean, what are you doing here? And why?
In New Orleans?
New Orleans? Here on the university property?
I'm a professor at the university. An adjunct professor.
Could I get... Are you truly?
Yeah.
Truly.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's on my sheet.
I'm double checking.
Truly.
Volunteer
Okay.
doctor is what I see. That's what I know, okay? I'm double checking.
I have it somewhere, I know.
God, these antagonistic storytellers, honestly.
Oh, no. Hold on.
Okay, maybe it's not on my sheet.
No.
Uh-oh.
Okay. Sir, it's not on your sheet. I was not aware that we had a professor. So I'm sorry, I'm going to make the storyteller ruling. Because I remember discussing you being a doctor who had recently graduated. Please. Oh, sorry. I feel like I'm picking on you. Persuasion manipulation 4.
That's not like you at all, Toasty.
I feel like I'm actually picking on you. I'm sorry. That's why I was so like, really? Don't forget you have potentially an extra die right now.
Oh yeah, that makes up for it.
But potentially, and you could potentially reroll. Rerolls are a thing with willpower.
Roused in intelligence? How do I have a potential extra die?
Yes.
You can rouse for intelligence.
Yes.
No, I was already roused for intelligence. Like,
That's what I was saying. Like it's for the scene. If I remember properly. It's for the scene.
sorry, my understanding is it's for intelligence and I can't use it on this manipulation.
Oh, okay. Yes. No. Sorry. You're
You
correct.
can rouse the blood again.
Yeah. If you really want.
You can rouse the blood as many times as you like.
You
Fair
could
enough.
it just shifts what it's for. Oh boy. Starting to get the hangry pains.
It's fine.
Okay. You meet it. He pauses, looking you up and down with an appraising eye, and places his hands into his pant pockets. If you are, I'm not. Let me restart. I recognize your face. I don't recognize you having those eyes I saw earlier when we first made ourselves known to one another. You are currently infringing upon the space that I use, that a few of my colleagues use, that is akin to home and work. Now, either you're quite new and you don't understand how things work, or you're very brazen. You can call me Valentine Lejeune.
I'm gonna need you to spell that one.
Gotcha. So, my fine friend, I don't care the books that you carry. Those aren't the ones that are particularly important to me. I care why you are standing here without introduction, without request, without proper notice. Have a
My
little
apologies.
issue? Hmm.
This condition came about while I was working my other job. It is
Mm,
2 weeks, a week.
roughly 2. It's been a little bit over 1. You're working into the second week.
Yeah, I'm saying 2 weeks, a week, something like
Yeah.
that. I just recently got back to New Orleans. I do not know the customs. I apologize.
He he's going to start to, like, walk a semicircle around you, still appraising at this point. Interesting. So you were out of the city and this happened.
Yes, the Native American Reserve, the Four Winds.
I'm gonna need a repeat of persuasion manipulation, please. We're gonna put this one at a 3. And because you roused for that check earlier, you do get that die on it. Meets it. Very close. Very close to maybe being a little bit snappy. Okay. So you travel for your work, and you said this happened out to which reserve?
The Four Winds in Allen Parish.
Hmm. Did it happen on the reserve?
No, I was helping some transients, and one thing led to another.
Yes, as they often do. Life is a chain reaction of interactions, after all. I'm going to do something for you tonight, but I expect something in return later. It's part of the customs here that you don't seem to know.
Okay.
I'm not particularly going to mention that I've seen you, and I'm going to let you leave for the time being.
Do I speak to you um, to get proper authorization next time?
No, calling ahead and leaving a request to use the library after hours is all it really takes. Give proper name, maybe mention any motions back towards where the light is. One of these areas, and we'll take the hint. Now, what I expect from you in return for this is a moderate boon.
What's that?
For me to determine later and you to have a weight over your head. And he gives you an almost predatory smile at this point, the smirk kind of returning, and he clasps a hand on your shoulder before turning you towards the entrance. Did you find everything you needed?
Yes. Uh, yes.
Good. If you need assistance next time, remember, call ahead, Ancient Languages Department, History, Sociology, and he just kind of waves his hand before opening the door for you. Oh, and bring those back. I will check for them.
I'll give him a nod.
And as you are giving him the nod, I imagine you've stepped outside.
Mm-hmm.
Do you try to do anything in the interim while he's escorting you out?
No.
Takes a step back and lets the door close in front of you. And he stays there, hands in pockets, a relaxed posture, watching you, waiting for you to leave.
Okay. I'll go over, get in the van, and leave.
What a prick. Oh,
We'll talk
Oh.
about for you later.
oh, that suddenly makes sense.
The inside joke is, right after Hale said that, I put Tremere with a very happy face.
I
Moving
thought he was a
on.
nice guy.
Yeah. I thought for everything that could have happened, he was rather polite.
Well, that checks out.
I've suddenly had
I
a change of
figured
heart. in him.
something like this could happen, but
You were hoping
No.
it wouldn't.
The idea crossed my mind earlier. College campuses and that kind of thing.
Yep. A table talk wise, yep. you found it. Make your way unaccosted back to the van.
I will say that mostly when I was asking him what a boon was, I was asking him what a boon was, not what does he want.
I
Oh,
got that
yeah.
impression. Yeah.
No, he understood.
Okay.
And that's
Yeah.
why he answered for me to decide later and you to have hanging over your head.
What a fine gentleman, after all. I seem to have completely misjudged him.
Oh, goodness. Okay. Moving back along to the night's events. Back to Pieetrr. You've recently acquired the information that you were looking for. Maddie hasn't been seen around for a bit, but you had a rough idea of past few nights something may have happened.
Yes.
You did not get the young lady's name. She didn't offer it, which is a staple of how they operate here, and you imagine she did so with intention.
I'm sure I can find her again. I'll call her Kitten for now. I'm going to make my way towards the old convent, roughly the direction or area that she said.
Okay. It would be a little bit of a walk for you where you currently say you were roughly on the corner of Barracks and Bourbon, about 2 blocks down, and then another 3 after that once you make your turn.
Okie dokes.
Ending that second block, technically the fourth one overall, you see the old convent on the corner facing you. And as you stand there, you feel a very similar a little bit like of an unpleasant sensation, and it doesn't radiate out from your spine like a shiver did with the gardener and crossing over the threshold for the church. This is something that like permeates all the way through every bone in your body.
Is there many people around?
Wouldn't say right here, no, not particularly at this time of night.
I'm going to turn my eyes on and have a look around, see if there's anything obvious that I can see. Anything that's going to give me the heebie-jeebies.
From where you stand on the street, there is a large, tall wall which encloses this portion of the corner facing you and a two-door gate blocking you from the rest of the building. It seems quiet. There's one or two lights on inside on the second floor. Very not quite colonial style building. From you're approaching it more from the back side right now. It looks a little bit of a historic Spanish style because the quarter is a mix between French and Spanish styles, majority. White painted brick, 2 to 3 stories, you imagine, just from what you can see over the fence itself. As for people milling about, you notice that there are some further down the street from it. You can hear a couple around the corner from you, probably down a little bit as well, but nobody immediate. Nobody watching.
Okay. Let's see if I can make my way into the convent itself. If there's any obvious access points.
Can you describe to me, because this is across the road from you, how you're approaching this? It's got the sidewalk which rings the building on the outer edge, and then it's almost straight into the fence line and the buildings themselves. There's no open areas between.
Um,
Sorry, there are no open areas between.
I'm going to walk from the opposite side of the road, just giving it a bit of a wider berth, give me a better vantage point. So if there's anything that untoward or like a damaged, like as if someone's tried to climb over the wall or anything like that. Just a general sort of search around, see if there's been some access or obvious, yeah, attempt to get inside.
The exterior of the building seems relatively untouched despite being in this area of town. It looks as though people actually tend to respect this area, the convent itself. You still feel the sensation. I might have done it a little bit of disservice earlier. It's not an overwhelming sensation, it's just there. It's present, it's making itself present and known to you, but it's not making you have to make a will save or anything like that. Like, you don't have to roll willpower to try and overcome it. It's just something inside is making you uncomfortable.
Mm-hmm.
Building wise, there's no graffiti tags from what you can see presently. There are no broken windows. It looks well taken care of. There's actual shutters on the exterior windows, particularly the ones that face the courtyard, which you imagine is probably where they park the vehicles. Walking around the front, there is actually a small greenery space, like closer to where this is at the midpoint of the block.
Mm-hmm.
And you can see that there is a water fixture in the front, so a pleasant fountain of modest size.
Can I get access to the grounds other than climbing over the wall / fence?
If you go up to the front, you could probably go to the front of the building itself. However, you imagine if you want actual entry, it it would be best to scale the wall.
Yeah, I'm going to skirt round to a point where there's no one around that can see, and I'll try and scale the wall.
Do you try the actual front doors? Just double checking.
No.
Swinging around the back, it's easy to get over the wall. While it's of decent height, there's actually a small portion of it which juts out towards the bottom with how it's styled. Enough you could get the toe of your shoe on to it and spring upwards and catch the top and pull yourself over. Looking inside the parking area, there are a few vehicles here. No one's outside. It's very quiet. There's a small small hedge area, which resembles a maze, but it's not tall enough to block view. It's more like knee height, and it seems like an intricate design of paperwork more than anything. And that's between the two buildings, and you can tell one is probably the chapel area, and the other is likely housing. So the one which is likely housing is the one that you get the sense from, and that's where the light is on upstairs.
Okay, so there's obviously people in here.
Mm-hmm.
I'll make my way in as quietly and as stealthily as I can. I just can do like an investigation, see if I can see if there's been any foul play. Basically, I'm trying to find Hunty, see where he's been. He's been down this way, so something's happened to him. If there's any obvious evidence of that.
Okay. Let's see. You have any specializations really quick? I don't think grappling will work. So,
Maybe.
investigation, we'll go with intelligence for this one at a DC of 3.
I shall do a bit of a rousing of the blood. Huzzah.
And you do not get hungrier this time.
This time. Three. Yeah, okay. I might do a bit of a
Reroll?
reroll. How many dice to roll?
I believe it's up to 3. For you presently.
What difficulty is that? 3 again or not?
No, you're just rolling to see if they become positive. So you can put it at 1. Also 10 though.
It is a 10.
It matches. Skulking about. You notice that it looks like not necessarily inside the courtyard itself. You do see it's been well taken care of, well cleaned, but the scent still kind of permeates the cleaner and everything has dissipated. It's not as overpowering as if this had been recently cleaned. There is a bit of iron, definitely red discoloration on some of the bricks and on the interior of the fence itself. It looks like, from what you can tell, maybe somebody had leaned against the wall there. And then mm, it slowly moves down. So it's about shoulder height for what Maddie was. And it looks as though it ends to where there's a larger mark, as if he had been sitting and leaning at the end of whatever time he may have spent here. If it's Maddie, you're not certain, but it is in the similar area it was pointed out to you.
It's obviously blood then.
Yes, it does look like old, very well cleaned, but due to heightened senses, blood here. I will say this as well, with making the 3, you were able to notice that while there is a majority of blood here in this location, it does kind of head towards intermittent places that weren't cleaned, on the stone steps and whatnot, into the housing building itself.
This is where the lights
So
are
the
on.
convent. Hmm?
That's where the lights are on, or not
Yes.
the that. Okay.
Yes, this is where the lights are on. Not the chapel, but the convent. The
Is there many windows pointing out into the courtyardy bit?
There's a whole side of the building full of windows facing you.
Any side accesses?
Sorry,
Is there
could
any
you
like
repeat that?
side doors, back doors, anything like that?
There's a side door between here and the chapel. Because there's a small covered walkway between the two.
Okay, I gotta make my way to that side door and see if it's open.
It is. But it seems like they don't really imagine somebody would get in through the gate over here.
Mhm.
Opening the door, it's a straight shoot hallway all the way down. Doors intermittent on either side. Listening, you can hear footsteps on the second floor. You don't hear any movement on the first floor with you. And your immediate entry area off to the right and to the left, there are open door spaces to look like two seating rooms. So two general areas for recreation.
Where's the front door, as in like where the traces led up to? Where's that in relation to the side door?
It would be midway down the building. So you would be see the two rooms there. On the right hand side and midway down the building. So you would pass the recreational room on your right and then a closed door. And then it would be like the entry alcove, which adjoins to this main hall.
Okay. I can't really hear anyone downstairs at the moment.
And on the left hand side, you have that recreational room. You have what looks to be stairs leading upwards, which is why you were able to more easily hear footsteps. And two doors, probably smaller rooms on the left.
Okay. I'll sort of make my way in and see if I can come close-ish to the front door. See if there's any signs of any more blood or trails or anything like that. Work my way in that way.
I would like a secondary investigation intelligence from you, please. At 3 again.
Huzzah.
I'll pass with flying colors this time. Within the entryway, you notice that there has been a similar amount of cleaning. Not necessarily that you notice any staining this time, but that the smell of the same chemicals is here for you.
Is there any like obvious pathway that's been cleaned?
In and towards the right. So it would be further down the hall that you had just been on. So basically turn around and just continue down it. And it looks like it may, if you follow the smell of stronger chemicals here, it may have been towards the end of the hall.
Yeah, head that way. Basically follow the trail.
Yeah. And you do see on the opposite end there is another entry door as well. This turns into a door which is part way open. And looking inside, you see it is a very small medical room. Predominantly for people to convalesce. There's about space for 4 beds in here with very little bedside space itself left over. A couple of cabinets with essentials Nothing particularly prescription or doctor grade in here, just general treatment items. And you can tell now that you've opened the door, there is a strong smell of blood about the area, despite all of the cleanliness that you see. And you can tell that what was probably a very well stocked cabinet is at least half empty at this point. To your right, you get the sense of where the smell is coming from, and you see the figure of someone resting, a tuft of dark hair sticking out underneath a bunch of blankets pulled up to their chin. Same hair color as Maddie.
Yeah, I make my way in. Is he breathing?
Peaceful, rhythmic, a little bit shallow occasionally, but it seems like he's resting.
Okay, make my way over. Put my hand over his mouth. Gently. Not hard, but to stop him from screaming.
Mm-hmm. It takes a few moments, but the restriction of airflow, he kind of groggily wakes up and doesn't immediately flinch away. Instead, he just kind of follows the hand up to your face, and there's a look of confusion.
Just give him a bit of a nod. And take my hand away slowly.
And we will find out what Maddie says in our next episode. Thank you for listening, and stay tuned for our next episode.